Hey, I'm Scott, and the Aputure Spotlight Mount is finally here. So there's been a lot of build up to this spotlight mount, and it's a really cool thing because it's something that usually would cost you a lot of money to get into, and it can really create some very cool effects and be very, very useful in a lot of different ways on set. So it's really awesome that Aputure now came out with a Bowens mount version that can be used with a huge range of lights and is a lot more affordable. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of other people that are making more creative, artistic type videos to show off what this can do. So I just want to take the chance to make a very quick, short, and concise video showing exactly what this is, how it works, and what it can do. I'm going to take this out of the box, and then we're going to go from the front to the back, and I'll show you piece by piece exactly what it is, and then I'll show you a couple of examples of what kind of effects you can create with it or what kind of things you can do. So anyway, let's get into the box. So when you open this up, you have a kind of foam cutout that holds the spotlight in here, and it's quite a large, heavy thing, but it fits in here really, really nice and tight, and there's a lot of space around it for all the little extras that do come with it, the little bee-sized gobos and all the stuff that we'll get into in just a second. So at least for me, I did get this with another little blower here because this is a lens, so you might want to keep it as clean as possible, and to that effect there's also a lens cleaning cloth in here and a little lens cleaning pen. You also of course have your instructions and 3 bee-sized gobos, and of course these are just standard size gobos, so you can get more of these very easily, but we'll talk about the patterns that are included here in just a second. So you get a really nice case with this too. It's a hard case. I believe it's made basically of wood, and you got these metal trimmings around the edge here. You got these latches to lock it closed. You got a carry handle on here and some rubber feet on the bottom. Mine has a hole in it from shipping, but basically the case itself is very, very rugged as long as you don't try and poke some holes in it. So obviously this is not the type of stand you would typically use this on, but for this review I'm just going to put it on here. But yes, this does actually mount onto a stand by itself, and then you're going to mount the light on the back of it. So this is going to be the part that is mounted onto your light stand. You get a yoke here that's pretty similar to the one on the 120D Mark II and the 300D Mark II, and it's really, really nice and robust. And you get this handbrake style lever here where you can loosen it and tighten it very, very securely. Even though this is pretty heavy, this is not going to slip out of place. On the front you have this little frame for gels, and you can actually push this little lock back and it will lock in there, so you can slide this out. And then you can slide in a gel, which is nice because this only requires a very small piece of gel to effectively cover your whole light, and then slide it back in, push the button, and it will lock in there. In this front section here you have your lens, and this is how you're going to focus your light. This one here is the 36-degree beam angle, but there are 2 other versions that you can buy separately. And when you loosen this knob right here, you can slide this in and out, and this is not going to change the size of your light. It's actually just going to focus it whether you have the gobos in there or not. So you can completely remove this screw if you want to take this lens out and replace it with one of the other beam angle versions. Right here in front of the slot for the flags and the gobos, you have another slot that does have a cover on it, and this is where you're going to slide in your iris, and the iris will allow you to close down the light while maintaining that round shape. So if you want to get a smaller, more focused light but maintain that round shape, that's what the iris is for, and it works just like the iris in a lens, and you can buy that separately. It's not included. I believe it's about $99, but I will put all that information on screen and down in the video description as well. Here you have the flags and the gobo, and this is the gobo holder here, and it just slides right out, and you can slide the gobos right into here and put it right in that same slot right in front of the 4 flags. You get 3 gobos included with this, and one is a kind of tree pattern, one is like blinds for a window, and the other is just a more random breakout type pattern that will give you some kind of abstract shapes in the background. And these can all just slide right into their B-size gobos, so you can get more if you want to, different patterns, and you can again focus these or unfocus these to get whatever kind of effect you want on your talent's face, on the background, or just create a whole lot of kind of creative effects with these, and these are really fun to play around with. So again, you got these 4 flags here, 2 on either side, one on the top and the bottom, and you can pull them out if you just want to get the full light, but you can close them down if you want to close it off on any of the sides, and it's very, very easy to use. But just remember that the top is going to affect the bottom of the light, and the bottom is going to affect the top, vice versa. It's reversed from what you are dealing with physically. Being able to close off this light like this is really nice because you can get nice, really clean cuts, and it's going to allow you to be able to shine this through diffusion or bounce it off of a space on a wall or a ceiling, and control the spill so that way you don't have it spilling into areas that you don't want to, or you could fill up a square diffusion without having it spill over the edges, and you can use all of the space of that diffusion instead of wasting it in the corners when you just have a round light. Obviously flags are going to help you control the light, and it's great that they're built right into here, so that just adds to the versatility of what you can do with this unit. Back here you can see the Bowens mount, so you can use this like I said on your 120D or 300D or anything with a Bowens mount, which makes it really, really versatile. And in there you can see some of the glass. Like I said, this is actually like a lens, so that's basically how you're going to set this up. You're going to put this on a light light stand and hang your light right off the back of it. This is all metal here, so this can get hot. Be careful with that, especially with higher powered lights, but it's definitely going to be able to handle something like the 300D Mark II, which is super bright, no problem whatsoever. So for those of you that may have not maybe seen this before or didn't know how it worked exactly, hopefully that could clear that up for you, but this is going to be a really useful thing to have in your kit. Of course, it's not going to apply for all situations, but it's going to magnify the output of your light, so you're going to get more punch with whatever light you put on there. You're going to be able to have those creative effects with the gobos, either on your subject or in the background. You can focus or defocus that light to look however you want it to look or however is appropriate for that scene. You can throw gels in there very, very easily so you can get color to that effect. You can use it for photography, for videography. It's perfect for bouncing light or shooting it through diffusion because you can fill that area up without spilling unnecessarily onto areas where you don't want it to. And you can utilize the whole area of a square diffusion, for example, because you can frame this off in a square pattern, so that way it uses all of the corners without spilling over unnecessarily. It's just going to be really, really useful to use in a lot of creative ways. So while you might not originally think that you need something like this, I think if you got your hands on it, you would find a ton of ways to use it. And after you find those ways, you really can't go back to not using it. So if you want to get your hands on one of these or check out the pricing, the availability, things like that, check out the video description for links to everything. If you liked this video or found it helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to see more in the future. As always, thank you for watching.